Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Here we explore the fascinating world of Buffalo Nickels and Jefferson Nickels, rare coins, key dates, mint marks, and their incredible values. Join us as we uncover history, discover hidden treasures, and guide collectors to the most valuable 5-cent coins in the market. First coin, the 1930 Buffalo Nickel with an S mint mark. At first glance, it might look like an ordinary 5-cent coin, something small and worn that could easily be overlooked in a collection of old change. But sometimes a small coin can carry an incredible story, and this particular Buffalo Nickel has become famous among collectors because of its rarity and the possibility that certain unusual examples could reach an astonishing value of around $350,000 in today's rare coin auction market. To understand why this coin can attract so much attention, we first need to go back to the early 20th century when the Buffalo Nickel was first introduced. The coin officially debuted in 1913 and quickly became one of the most iconic coin designs in United States history. The design was created by sculptor James Earl Fraser, who wanted to create a coin that represented the true spirit of America. Instead of using classical symbols from Europe, Fraser chose images connected to the American frontier and Native American heritage. On the front of the Buffalo Nickel, you can see the powerful portrait of a Native American leader. The design was not based on just one person, but was created using features from several Native American chiefs Fraser had studied. The result is a striking and dignified portrait that remains one of the most admired designs in American coinage. On the reverse side of the coin is the image of a large American bison, often called a buffalo. The animal stands on a mound of earth, strong and calm, representing the wildlife that once roamed the American plains in massive herds. This design gave the coin its popular name, the Buffalo Nickel, although technically the animal is an American bison. Buffalo Nickels were produced from 1913 until 1938, when the design was replaced by the Jefferson Nickel. During those 25 years, millions of Buffalo Nickels were struck at different mints across the United States. Some of the coins were produced in Philadelphia, others in Denver, and others in San Francisco. The coin we are focusing on today was produced in 1930 at the San Francisco Mint. You can identify this by the small letter S located on the reverse side of the coin beneath the words 5 cents. That tiny mint mark is extremely important to collectors because it tells them exactly where the coin was made. In 1930, the San Francisco Mint produced Buffalo Nickels in smaller numbers compared to some other years. Because of this, collectors have always paid attention to coins from this mint. Over time, many of these coins entered circulation and experienced years of use in everyday transactions. People used them in stores, carried them in pockets, and passed them from hand to hand across the country. The example we are discussing today is described as being in circulated scratched fine condition. This means the coin has clearly been used in everyday life. The surface may show scratches or marks from years of handling. The high points of the design, such as the cheekbone of the Native American portrait or the shoulder of the buffalo, may appear worn down. The date might not look as sharp as it did when the coin was first minted, but it is still readable. Many people might assume that a worn coin like this cannot possibly be valuable. However, experienced collectors know that condition is only one factor in determining a coin's value. Rarity, historical importance, and unusual varieties can sometimes make even worn coins extremely desirable. One of the interesting features collectors sometimes discuss on Buffalo Nickels is the appearance of the date. Because the design placed the date on a raised part of the coin, it often wore down quickly during circulation. This is why many Buffalo Nickels today have dates that are completely worn away. When a Buffalo Nickel still has a visible date, collectors often pay closer attention to it. On certain coins, the numbers in the date may appear thicker or slightly larger than normal. When collectors notice that the numbers stand out in a different way, they sometimes describe the coin as having a large date appearance. These kinds of differences can happen when the dies used to strike coins were modified, polished, or replaced during production. Imagine a collector searching through a group of Buffalo Nickels from the early 20th century. Most of the coins are worn and common, but suddenly one coin stands out. The date appears stronger and larger than expected. The small S mint mark is clearly visible beneath the buffalo. Even though the coin has scratches and wear from years of circulation, something about it seems unusual. This is the moment when the coin becomes exciting for collectors. When collectors believe they may have discovered a rare variety or an especially scarce coin, the next step is usually professional authentication. Companies such as PCGS and NGC specialize in grading and verifying coins. Experts examine the coin carefully under magnification, studying the surface, the strike, and the design details. If the coin is confirmed to be authentic and receives a grade describing its condition, it is sealed in a protective holder. Certification like this is extremely important in the rare coin market because it gives buyers confidence that the coin has been examined by experts. Next coin? The 1936 Buffalo nickel with a large date and no visible mint mark. At first glance, it may seem like a simple 5-cent coin, something ordinary that could easily be passed over in a jar of change or stored in a coin collection without much thought. But when it comes to rare Buffalo nickels, even a coin that looks worn and circulated can hide incredible value. This particular coin, despite its scratches and signs of wear in fine circulated condition, is considered one of the most expensive examples and could reach an estimated value of around $320,000 in today's auction market. To understand why this coin is so sought after, we first need to examine the history of the Buffalo nickel itself. The Buffalo nickel, also known as the Indian head nickel, was introduced in 1913. It was designed by sculptor James Earl Fraser, who sought to create a coin that captured the spirit of the American West. Unlike previous coin designs that relied heavily on classical European motifs, Fraser's design drew inspiration from the Native American culture and the wildlife of the American plains. The result was a coin that would become one of the most iconic and collectible designs in U.S. history. On the obverse side of the coin, Fraser created a powerful portrait of a Native American man. This image was not based on a single individual, but rather a composite of several Native American leaders Fraser had studied. The result was a highly detailed and realistic portrait that conveyed dignity, strength, and character. The word liberty appears along the edge, and the date is positioned below the portrait, a detail that would play a significant role in identifying rare varieties of Buffalo nickels in the decades to come. On the reverse side of the coin is the image of a majestic American bison standing on a small mound of earth. This image quickly earned the coin its popular name, the Buffalo nickel. Fraser modeled the bison after a live specimen at the Bronx Zoo, and the design captured the strength and power of this iconic American animal. The reverse design also includes the words United States of America and 5 cents, which frame the bison in a way that makes the design striking and memorable. Buffalo nickels were produced from 1913 until 1938. They were minted at 3 facilities: Philadelphia, which did not use a mint mark, Denver, which used the letter D, E, and San Francisco, which used the letter S. The coin we are discussing today does not display any mint mark, indicating it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. For collectors, the presence or absence of a mint mark is critical because it can dramatically affect the rarity and value of a coin. The 1936 Buffalo nickel is especially interesting because it was produced in relatively high numbers, yet certain varieties and large date examples are highly scarce. Most circulated 1936 nickels are worth only a few dollars to collectors today. However, when a coin features a large date and exhibits characteristics that distinguish it from the typical design, it becomes much more valuable. The large date variety refers to the size and spacing of the numbers in the date. In some cases, the numerals appear bolder, taller, or more prominent than the standard date style. These differences can occur during the minting process when dies are altered, polished, or replaced. Imagine a collector sorting through rolls of Buffalo nickels from the 1930s. Most of the coins are worn and ordinary, but one coin suddenly draws attention. The date appears larger than usual. The details of the Native American portrait are still recognizable, and the bison on the reverse is clearly defined despite wear. The coin has scratches from circulation, but these marks do not diminish the fact that it represents a rare variety. The coin we are describing today is in circulated fine condition. This means that while it shows clear signs of use, the key design elements are still visible. On the obverse, the Native American's facial features may be slightly flattened, and the hair and feathers show wear. On the reverse, the bison's back, shoulder, and legs may be worn, and scratches or marks from circulation may be evident. Despite these imperfections, the coin retains enough detail to be recognized as a valuable and collectible piece. Condition is important in coin collecting, but rarity is often even more critical. A coin that is extremely scarce can be valuable even if it is not in perfect condition. For this 1936 large date, Buffalo nickel with no mint mark, scarcity and collector demand drive its impressive value. Collectors who specialize in Buffalo nickels often search for coins that display unusual characteristics, such as differences in the date, variations in the design, or errors created during the minting process. These coins can command extraordinary prices in the auction market. Professional grading and authentication play a crucial role in determining the value of rare coins. Companies such as PCGS and NGC specialize in grading coins and verifying their authenticity. Experts examine coins under magnification, studying the design, strike, surface, and other details. Once a coin has been authenticated and graded, it is placed in a protective holder to preserve its condition. Certification ensures that collectors can buy and sell with confidence, knowing that the coin is genuine and its grade has been professionally assessed. Next coin. The 1926 Buffalo nickel with a large date and no visible mint mark. At first glance, it might seem like an ordinary 5-cent coin, a small piece of metal that could easily be overlooked in a jar of change or tucked away in a dusty collection. But in the world of rare coins, even a coin that looks worn, scratched, or dusty can hold incredible value. This particular 1926 Buffalo nickel, despite its circulation wear and dusty condition, has become one of the most expensive Buffalo nickels ever sold, with an estimated auction value of around $390,000 in today's market. To understand why this coin commands such attention, we need to start with the history of the Buffalo nickel. The Buffalo nickel, also known as the Indian head nickel, was first introduced in 1913. It was created by sculptor James Earl Fraser, who wanted to design a coin that truly represented the American spirit. Fraser avoided classical European motifs, instead focusing on themes from the American frontier. The resulting design is one of the most iconic and recognizable in United States coinage, blending artistry, history, and symbolism. The obverse side of the coin features a powerful portrait of a Native American man. Fraser based this image on a combination of several Native American chiefs he studied to create a composite likeness. The result is a striking and dignified image, showcasing features that convey strength, wisdom, and character. Above the portrait is the word Liberty, and beneath it, the date is inscribed. On Buffalo nickels, the placement and style of the date play a crucial role in identifying rare varieties. The reverse side of the coin depicts a majestic American bison standing firmly on a mound of earth. This design is what gave the coin its popular name, the Buffalo nickel. Fraser modeled the bison after real specimens he observed at the Bronx Zoo. The reverse also includes the inscriptions United States of America and 5 cents, framing the bison in a way that creates a striking and memorable design. Buffalo nickels were minted from 1913 until 1938, and during that time coins were struck at 3 mints: Philadelphia, which did not use a mint mark, Denver, which used the letter D, and San Francisco, which used the letter S. The 1926 Buffalo nickel we are focusing on today has no mint mark, meaning it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. This small detail is extremely important for collectors because it helps determine the coin's rarity and value. The 1926 Buffalo nickel is already a coin of interest because it was produced in relatively high numbers, yet some varieties, including the large date version, are extremely scarce. Most circulated 1926 nickels are worth only a few dollars, but the large date variety is one of the most coveted among serious collectors. The large date refers to the size and prominence of the numerals in the date. In some examples, the numerals appear bolder, taller, or more distinct than the standard date style. These differences can occur during the minting process when dies are polished, modified, or replaced, creating subtle variations that collectors prize. Imagine a collector sifting through rolls of Buffalo nickels from the 1920s. Most coins are worn, common, and unremarkable, but one coin immediately stands out. The date appears unusually large, The portrait of the Native American is still recognizable despite wear, and the bison on the reverse is clear and well-defined. Even though the coin is dusty and shows the signs of decades of circulation, it carries a rare characteristic that makes it highly desirable. This particular coin is described as being in circulated dusty condition. The high points of the design, such as the cheekbone and hair of the Native American and the back and shoulder of the bison, may be worn from years of use. Dust and dirt may cling to the surface, giving the coin a muted appearance. Light scratches and small marks are common, but they do not obscure the essential details that make this coin rare. Many people assume that a coin in worn or dusty condition cannot be valuable, but in the rare coin market, scarcity and historical significance often outweigh condition. Collectors understand that a coin with an exceptional rarity, such as a large-date Buffalo nickel from 1926, can still command incredible prices even when it has circulated heavily. Professional grading and authentication are critical steps for determining a rare coin's value. Organizations such as PCGS and NGC specialize in examining coins under magnification, confirming authenticity, and assigning a grade that reflects the coin's condition. Once graded, the coin is sealed in a protective holder that preserves its state and provides confidence to collectors and investors alike. Next coin, the 1960 Jefferson Nickel, with a large date and a D mint mark on the back. At first glance, it might look like an ordinary 5-cent coin, something that people often overlook in pocket change or tucked away in coin collections. However, in the world of rare coins, even a coin that has scratches, circulation wear, or signs of long-term use can hold incredible value. This particular 1960 Jefferson Nickel, despite being in circulated fine condition, is considered one of the most expensive examples from its year, with an estimated auction value of approximately $210,000 in today's market. To understand why this coin commands such a high value, we need to explore the history and significance of the Jefferson Nickel. The Jefferson Nickel series was introduced in 1938, replacing the Buffalo Nickel. The design was created by sculptor Felix Schlag, who sought to honor Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States and a key figure in American history. The obverse of the coin features a profile portrait of Jefferson, while the reverse displays his famous Virginia estate, Monticello. Over the decades, Jefferson Nickels have become one of the most collected and recognized coins in the United States. On the obverse side, the 1960 Jefferson Nickel displays a right-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson. The artist emphasized Jefferson's strong facial features, including his high cheekbones and prominent jawline, which convey dignity and determination. Above the portrait, the word Liberty is inscribed, and to the right, the date is clearly visible. The coin we are discussing is a large date variety, meaning the numerals in the year are slightly taller, thicker, or more prominent than the standard date style. These subtle differences occur during the minting process when dies are polished, modified, or replaced, and they can significantly impact a coin's rarity and value. The reverse side of the coin features Jefferson's Monticello estate. Schlag's design captures the classical architecture of the building, including the columns, dome, and steps leading to the entrance. The inscriptions, United States of America and E Pluribus Unum, are placed above the building, while the denomination 5 cents appears below. The D mint mark, which indicates that this coin was struck at the Denver Mint, is located on the back to the right of Monticello. Mint marks are crucial to collectors because they reveal the production facility and can dramatically influence a coin's rarity and market value. Most Jefferson Nickels from 1960 are common and circulate widely, holding little more than their face value of 5 cents. However, the large date D mint mark variety is considerably scarcer. Collectors of key dates and mint mark varieties understand that certain coins in this series can be exceptionally rare and highly valuable, even if they show signs of circulation. A large date D mint mark Jefferson Nickel from 1960 is one such coin. Imagine a collector sorting through rolls of Jefferson Nickels from the late 1950s and early 1960s. Most coins appear ordinary, with regular date proportions and common mint marks. Then one coin catches the eye. The date is noticeably larger than typical, the D mint mark on the reverse is clear and well-defined, and the essential features of Jefferson and Monticello are still visible despite years of wear. Even though this coin shows scratches and circulation marks, it immediately stands out as a rare and collectible piece. Circulated fine condition means that the coin has been used in everyday transactions, showing clear signs of wear. On the obverse, Jefferson's cheekbones, hair, and collar may be slightly flattened, while on the reverse, the architectural details of Monticello may be worn down. Scratches and small marks from handling are visible, and the overall surface may appear less lustrous than a mint-state coin. Despite these imperfections, the coin retains all critical features that allow it to be recognized as a large-date, D mint mark variety. Many people assume that coins in circulated condition cannot command high prices. In reality, rarity, historical significance, and collector demand often outweigh condition. A coin that represents a scarce variety, fills a gap in a collection, or has historical importance can command extraordinary prices, even when it has seen years of circulation. The 1960 Jefferson Nickel with a large date and back D mint mark perfectly illustrates this principle. Professional grading and authentication are critical in determining the value of rare coins. Organizations such as PCGS and NGC specialize in examining coins under magnification, assessing the strike, surface details, and overall preservation. Once a coin has been authenticated and graded, it is placed in a protective holder to preserve its condition and give collectors confidence regarding its authenticity and value. Certified coins provide proof that the coin has been examined by experts and is recognized as a rare and genuine example. Next coin, the 1991 Jefferson Nickel 5-cent coin with a large date and a P mint mark on the front. At first glance, it may look like an ordinary nickel, a simple piece of metal that many people would overlook in pocket change, coin jars, or collections. However, in the world of rare and collectible coins, even a coin that has scratches, circulation wear, or signs of use can hold extraordinary value. This particular 1991 Jefferson Nickel, despite being in circulated fine condition, is considered one of the most expensive examples from its year, with an estimated value of approximately $120,000 in today's auction market. To understand why this coin commands such a high value, it's important to examine the history and significance of the Jefferson Nickel series. The Jefferson Nickel was first introduced in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel. The coin was designed by sculptor Felix Schlag, who sought to honor Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States and one of the nation's founding fathers. The obverse of the coin features a profile portrait of Jefferson, while the reverse shows his famous Virginia estate, Monticello. Over the decades, Jefferson Nickels have become one of the most recognized and collected coins in the United States, and certain key dates and mint mark varieties within the series are highly sought after by collectors. The obverse side of the 1991 Jefferson Nickel features a right-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson. The artist emphasized Jefferson's strong facial features, including his high cheekbones and firm jawline, conveying dignity, determination, and intellect. Above the portrait, the word "Liberty" is inscribed, while the date appears prominently to the right. On this specific 1991 example, the date is a large date variety. A large date refers to subtle differences in the size, height, and spacing of the numerals in the year, which can occur when dies are modified or replaced during the minting process. Even small variations in date style can create a coin that is significantly rarer than standard examples, which is why collectors pay close attention to these details. The reverse of the coin features Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia estate. Schlag's design captures the classical architecture of the building, including the columns, dome, and steps. The inscriptions United States of America and E Pluribus Unum appear above the building, while the denomination 5 cents is displayed below. The P mint mark, indicating that this coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, is located on the front, near the date. Mint marks are extremely important to collectors because they identify the mint where the coin was produced and often determine the coin's rarity. Coins with certain mint marks, especially in combination with other rare features, can dramatically increase in value. Most 1991 Jefferson Nickels are relatively common, even in circulated condition, and typically hold only their face value of 5 cents. However, The large date P mint mark variety is significantly scarcer. Collectors who focus on key dates, mint mark varieties, and subtle design differences know that coins like this can be extremely rare and valuable, even in circulated condition. A large date P mint, mark 1991, Jefferson Nickel, is one of the modern key date coins that can attract high-value bids from serious collectors. Imagine a collector carefully examining rolls of Jefferson Nickels from the late 1980s and early 1990s. Most coins are ordinary, showing standard date proportions and common mint marks. But one coin immediately draws attention. The numerals in the date are noticeably larger than usual. The P mint mark is clear and well-defined, and despite the scratches and circulation wear, the essential features of Jefferson and Monticello are still visible. Even in circulated fine condition, this coin demonstrates the characteristics that make it rare and highly collectible. Circulated fine condition means that the coin has been used extensively in everyday transactions, and clear signs of wear are present. The high points of Jefferson's profile, such as his cheekbones, hair, and collar, may be slightly flattened. On the reverse, the architectural details of Monticello may show wear on the dome, columns and steps. Scratches and marks from handling and circulation are visible, giving the coin a slightly rough surface. Despite these imperfections, the coin retains all the necessary features that allow collectors to identify it as a large date P mint mark variety. Many people assume that coins in circulated condition cannot achieve high prices. In reality, rarity and collector demand often outweigh condition. A coin that represents a scarce variety, fills a gap in a collection, or is historically significant can command extraordinary prices even when it has been handled and worn for years. The 1991 large date Jefferson Nickel with a P mint mark perfectly illustrates this principle, showing that even modern coins can hold remarkable value under the right circumstances. Professional authentication and grading play a crucial role in establishing a coin's value. Organizations such as PCGS and NGC specialize in examining coins under magnification, evaluating the strike, surface, and overall preservation. Once a coin has been authenticated and graded, it is sealed in a protective holder to preserve its condition and provide collectors with confidence in its authenticity and value. Certified coins provide assurance that the coin has been verified by experts and recognized as a rare and genuine example.